Welcome back to Free the Money. I have a very special guest today, the Bearable Bull. He is someone who is an OG in the XRP community. And personally, I have learned so much from him over the years. I remember when I was just holding XRP and I had no idea what I was even holding. I came across his YouTube channel and honestly, he changed the game for me. I'm so grateful you are my friend today, and I'm so happy to have you on the show. So welcome to Free the Money.
Absolutely, Bree. Round 2, 2025. Let's get it again. Let's kill it.
I know. Okay, so I gotta ask you, how did you get into crypto and what led to all this passion for XRP for you?
I'm gonna get arrested already. Bree, stop.
Ooh, some aggressively average content.
Yeah, it's aggressively average story time. I got into crypto because I wanted weed. That was the way to buy it.
On the Silk
And then
Road.
after that, what ended up happening was, you're over here using the magic internet money for purchases you're not supposed to be making, and then it just goes up, and you're just like, oh, well, I should just be invested in these magic internet coins. That's really the answer to how I got in. And after that, I just saw the ROI was tremendous. My first altcoin season, it was like ideas that were conjured up out of the ether were making like 20x's, 30x's, and that fascinated me. It's like this technology could really uproot a lot of the power structures today, and I was very passionate about that. But you go through a lot of cycles, you go through different bear markets and bull markets, and you see what exists, what withstands the test of time and stuff like that. I just understood that it would be inevitable. And so I've been in this space since 2016, and here we are to this day. So yeah, that's my aggressively average story time.
What year did you start becoming an influencer in this space? Was that also in 2016? You knew the power of XRP and you started making videos. I don't remember what year I came across you.
I think it was early 2019. I started off in crypto like an average like XRP hater, like, oh, fuck the banks. I don't want to be in this, centralized like bankers coin. They control too much of the supply. It was like the antithesis of what I got into crypto for. Now I want to support the banks. No, but after the 2018 bear market, like my profits at the peak were about $500,000 at the time. And, for me at the time, that was a lot of money. I was in college at the time. And I got 80% of that portfolio wiped out almost immediately. And that was a very
Oh, no.
humbling experience for me. I got to the point where I'm like, these ideas with no grounding in reality aren't something I can really be invested in long term. So I started really doubling down and saying which projects in the market are going to have the staying power that's going to make it grow. I identified XRP. I'm like, all right, well, this is a safe investment. Unfortunately, what ended up happening was the safe investment got over by the SEC because it was so credible and such a threat to like the power structure of Ethereum, for example, which ended up being like more of ingrained into the government, believe it or not, than XRP.
Eastgate.
So try to invest in something safe and credible, and you still get shafted. So it's been it's been a
It's been a
humbling. It's been
wild
a wild
ride.
ride. Understanding that it's still here, it hasn't gone away. It was never a scam. We've been vindicated. And all of that is pent up demand and pent up patience that I've endured, and I know that the fruits of my labor will be rewarded. So
I
do
love that. I
well.
love that so much, and that's just an amazing story. I mean, you've been in the game a long time, and you believed in XRP, and I remember I would fall asleep listening to your videos. Like, a lot of my family members are huge fans of you, that's what really educated them on XRP, so you've helped so many people, and I don't know, it gives me chills, and I told you that and when you interviewed me, just how much of an impact you have had on this entire community.
You,
I think
you know,
you're probably like the first XRP influencer like I ever listened to. I know you're more than just an influencer.
what's so like funny about that is that there would be a lot of theories that I would conjure up in my mind back in the day, that XRP gatekeepers of information and auditors on crypto Twitter would be like, no, you can't do it. It's too much hype, bro. It's too much. And come to find out to this day, a lot of those theories are beginning to become more and more credible. So I'm a big believer in the right to independent thought. I don't know why in this space that is so new and so niche and so complex, it's a crime punishable by scrutiny by anons on Twitter. I don't know why, like, just conjuring up ideas that have some basis and some documents and paperwork is such a problem. You know, it's like there was this theory called the pre-allocation theory that is now to this day becoming more and more credible. There's this theory that maybe crypto can help pay back the national debt, and it's like, you know, we're in fantasy economics territory right now. Like, they're just printing money into oblivion. We're at 37 trillion dollars in debt.
Probably way more than that. That's just
like,
like what's recorded.
do what he wants. Bankruptcy, the expert, like, come on, boom, make price go up, pay it off, boom, done. So it's not, it sounds ridiculous, but just the state of world economics is ridiculous. Like, we're an end stage American empire. You know what I mean? We're in Weimar Germany right now. And it
seriously, especially with the trannies. I'll cut that part out, but like, we really are.
Don't. But it's that's where we are. The only difference between now and the World War II era of the IMF being birthed and the Bretton Woods Agreement, the only is now we have the internet, we have blockchain, we have AI, all converging into one transition, whatever that is. Who am I? I'm just some formerly anonymous dude on the internet that says a girl really average every day.
Interesting. So what do you think's next?
For what exactly?
Well, just when you're saying all these pieces are coming together, especially with AI, how does that threaten the entire system? Especially like you're talking about the end of the American empire. How does what's AI's part in that?
The dollar's going to be devalued monumentally because of that. America's standing on the world stage is you know, being downgraded. It's going to be more of a level playing field. I don't know if you've heard that phrase thrown around a lot by politicians in terms of economics, but that's something that has been thrown around. It's going to be more of a socialistic style of living. Like, the average person is going to be automated out of existence. There's not going to be salaries. Really, there's going to be universal income. And look, like, I was born and raised in New York City, and we have a communist as our mayor now. You know, that's like, because rents are too expensive, prices are too expensive, people aren't making enough money, and now people want higher taxes to redistribute wealth. Like, that's going to get worse when AI really shows up. And what's going to really trigger that transition? Well, what happened during COVID? That was a big global event. Boom. Disaster, problem, reaction, solution. COVID, lockdown, sickness, health, mandatory injections. You're going to need your digital IDs to make sure you got 16 boosters and that you stay at home. Your social credit score, if you go outside, it's going to be bad. It'll go down to like 100. You can't buy eggs, UBI that you can only use to get certain things. It's going to be fascinating to see.
That's all also integrated in what we're talking about with blockchain and with CBDCs, programmable money. So it's like, on one side, we have something that's really powerful and can lead to a lot of personal freedoms. And then we also have, on the other hand, something that really takes away a lot of our freedoms.
The only pros we have is that we can make a lot of money fast. I don't find too much benefit from this technology. Do you remember in 2019 when COVID started, there was this simulation called Event 201, and it like started.
What was that?
That was like a Bill Gates and World Economic Forum initiative to like test a global pandemic on a world stage, right?
Yeah.
That's what Event 201 was. And that happened in September 2019. And simultaneously, the overnight repo markets started injecting liquidity, right? They started injecting a lot of money. And what happened just a couple weeks ago is the overnight repo markets started doing the same exact thing, right? And to me, when I see a shift in, monetary policy, rate cuts, repo
Mm-hmm.
liquidity injections, it's setting the preliminary stage for another black swan to come. COVID round two, that there's always an excuse for
Yeah.
why the monetary policy has to change drastically. Like when Trump called it a pandemic in March and he cut interest rates from like, I forgot what I think it was like 2% to zero. It was like that. Boom. Done. One day. But the transition was already happening for months.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be shocked to see that again.
No, I'm prepared. I don't trust any of these people. So we're definitely on the same page with that. Well, with that being said, obviously a lot right now is happening in Japan. We saw, speaking of interest rates, we saw them back in March of 2024 increase their interest rates. They used to be in the negatives, and for decades they were at 0%. And now we're seeing a reverse carry trade. What type of effect do you think this is possibly going to have on XRP if XRP is used in this reverse carry trade? With SBI, they've been using XRP for cross-border payments, I think, since 2021. And obviously, a lot of people in the community are talking about XRP being used, and it's obviously faster, more efficient, and it's time to get with the times and to go away from the old system. Do you think this is actually going to happen? Do you think this is like the first domino to fall?
Trying to speculate what the first domino is going to be for XRP's price to go up is always so hard. Bree, I've been doing this for like years. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but so much is
what's
lining
one of
up.
these things?
So much is lining up. And I even saw something the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
day
yeah.
talking about
Mhm.
RLUSD now going live in Q1 in Japan. So like a lot is
Yeah.
happening with Ripple in Japan.
So to answer your question, do I think it's going to be the reverse carry trade in Japan that's going to trigger a price explosion in XRP? I'm not
No,
sure.
no, I'm not asking that. I'm
Okay.
asking, do you
But
think with the reverse carry trade, these trillions will go through the XRP ledger? Like that will be the unit for conversion. Do you think they're going to be using XRP? I don't care about the price. There's arguments to say that the price will go up. There's also arguments to show that the price will go down. But do you think XRP will be used on this level?
Yoshitaka Kitao has been trigger happy to use XRP since like 2017. Like Japan, Korea, a lot of countries in Asia have been really like trigger happy and ready to use XRP like for a long time. So when you see a big macro problem like that, that's self-evident, and unwinding
Mm-hmm.
a carry trade into a reverse carry trade is kind of like what can be used as very cheap and efficient to unwind that.
Yeah.
And XRP is there. It's very fast and efficient. The infrastructure is built. The partnerships are there, and it's
Mm-hmm.
why not? It's definitely XRP's price can go up based on speculation alone and demand from ETFs, and I'm a believer in that. But like the ultimate price appreciation for this coin is going to come. Boom, there's a big macro problem in the financial
And
system, and it needs to be used as a liquidity tool fast to like fix this problem, like boom, to prevent a very bad crisis, right? So I wouldn't be shocked at all. That's what
yeah.
it's for.
And what do you think the effects of the Clarity Act, if the Clarity Act is passed in America, how do you think that's also going to affect XRP and its price? I love it when you smile like that, when you're like,
I think price before law, but I also believe that when law is in place, it's really gonna, it's gonna open up the scope for everything else as well. It's not just gonna be XRP. I feel like XRP is the most regulated crypto right now, to be honest
it
with you.
already, yeah. But now,
So
I
it's
mean,
like,
there's actually going to
but with
be legislation.
yeah, but with incumbents, they're very slow and they like things to be ironed out, especially with these technologies. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's been over a decade. Ripple's been trying to like make sure that they present themselves as the safe ones, the regulatory compliant ones, and that will be the final domino in terms of regulation to really like solidify everything. So all these other checklists of compliance have been made by Ripple already, and all that's left is really just the overall overhead legislation. So yeah, I'm very excited
What
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when do you think we will see this passed? I haven't looked at a timeline for the Clarity Act. I was more interested in the Genius Act.
Before Christmas or very soon before,
Wow.
very soon into the beginning of the year.
Can you lay out just for our audience kind of what exactly the Clarity Act is and what it will be doing, especially for stablecoins and just regulations for these cryptocurrencies, especially in being a bridge asset?
Can I just point one thing out before I get into that,
Yeah.
Bree? You know what was funny to me? What was very funny to me is that the other day, I think it was the S&P came out with a rating of Tether the other day. It was like
Yeah.
a rating of Tether of being like the lowest quality or like the highest risk um in terms of compliant stablecoin, something like that. And then Tether came out with tenacity, like, no, we're good, we're fine, we're good. And it's one of those things where it's like where there's smoke, there's fire, right? We have to kind of trust that all these unsavory characters and all these self-motivated people are just telling us the truth, right? With the
Mhm.
Clarity Act, we don't have to trust anything. You're either regulated or you're not, and you're going to jail. And that's really it. It's like, what is fraud? What is okay? Boom. You're either going to comply or you're going to not.
Are
And
you scared
there's
about certain foundations maybe paying the government though? So I'm not gonna name any names, but
not really.
to
Not
get to be listed as they are compliant. I don't know. I'm a bit fearful of that.
I think I think the only thing that we need to really worry about is whether or not we're gonna get caught with our pants down in the market. So what I mean by that is like what happened with Terra Luna and UST,
Yeah.
for example, 2022. Nobody thought Terra Luna was a scam. Nobody thought UST
No.
was a scam. I have a lot of people that were making 20% interest staking on UST, and they thought their profits for the bull market was safe and a stable coin. Come to
Yeah.
find out, they're like 75% down after 2 days. That's what is
Mhm.
really like the worst part about the lack of potential compliance and the lack of clarity is you don't know where the ticking time bomb is. It's like, is this the time bomb? Is this the time bomb? So that's really what I'm fearful of. If some companies want to pay to play, like that's been the oldest game in the book. So I'm not fearful of that. I'm fearful of, like, let's say a tether gets found to be uber fraudulent, and then what would that do to Bitcoin? Could you imagine? And then what
Yeah.
would that do to the overall crypto space?
I mean,
Um,
it would be massive.
it would be probably decimate it.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
also think if the unwinding of tether and if Bitcoin being found to be propped up by the stable coin that's less than credible is like found to be true, that could open the door
Yeah.
for another king of crypto to appear, and which one is
Mhm. Yeah.
so like very ideally what I want is for XRP to just take over the market, be the biggest crypto on the planet, and like for this pegging to Bitcoin to just be undone, because everything
Yeah.
being pegged to Bitcoin, which has no use case other than put money in, watch price go up, is exhausting. It's exhausting,
I think things
right?
will
I
change
want
slowly, and I think we're getting to that point
Yeah.
where people are more educated in that there are other cryptocurrencies. It's not just Bitcoin. I think
Yeah.
I don't know. I see that slowly happening.
And slowly, but once it's fully done, then it's
Yeah. I do have actually a question. I was having a pretty interesting conversation with a friend the other day, and we were talking about how, it would be pretty cool if the XRP ledger did possibly add an amendment that maybe added zero knowledge proofs or some layer of privacy. And I think it would actually be interesting with, no, I mean, I know it sounds crazy. It totally sounds crazy because if you follow me, I'm a big believer in privacy coins. And I think they're very
Mhm.
important, especially to the world we're going into and what we kind of touched on earlier. But I think it would make it safer for these institutions and banks to be using XRP if not everything was so exposed. Do
Yeah,
you see a world
there
of that ever happening?
there's a private ledger I don't know if you're familiar. There's a private ledger for XRP. So I believe a lot of things have been done to like test some things out, maybe some old gardens on the private ledger. But in
Okay.
terms of RP being like a zero knowledge proof privacy chain,
Mm,
I'm not a
y-
developer, but I think that's an impossibility
Yeah.
at this.
No, just adding
But
some type of amendment where you could opt in. I don't know if it's even possible. I did hear there was also like I think I saw a clip on X of Brad Garlinghouse talking about how privacy is necessary, especially when it comes to banking. And obviously, XRP is a banker's coin.
mm, yeah, I think that's the private ledger part, but
Yeah.
I don't think XRP was built with privacy in mind per se.
No, neither was
Unfortunately,
Bitcoin.
yeah, they sold it with that dream, but
Yeah, but there's a
yeah,
difference between being pseudonymous and private, and thankfully there's other options for that people can use personally. Huge believer in that. What other coins are you really excited about right now? Like I know most of your content is about XRP, but are there any other coins that you really feel like are revolutionizing the world or
yeah, that's a great question. I want to preface my answer by saying I have a hypothesis or best case scenario for the XRP army. My
okay.
golden scenario, Bree, come on a journey with me, is everything else in crypto is kind of just like continuing to trade sideways and then boom. ETFs, volumes eat up supply shock XRP, FOMO, retail, speculation. XRP is one of the top 3 cryptos, so it has its own little bull run and front runs the rest of the altcoin market. And let's say we're at like $10. That upfront movement for XRP will like allow us to really rotate some of those profits and to other coins for the rest of the cycle that are very credible. That's my dream scenario, because then we'll be really able to play. And then because XRP and Stellar are very algorithmically paired in terms of their
Mm-hmm.
charts, Stellar lags, I would probably rotate some money into Stellar, for example, just because
Yeah.
of the
I've,
way their charts
I've
move
I've
in
had
tandem.
I've had a nice bag of Stellar for some time.
There you go.
Good
But
going.
if you really want me to like be honest, there are a couple cryptos that I really, really like. Like what Natalia and Propy are doing is so unbelievable. And it's like real estate and crypto. They're making Bree. It takes a few seconds, click of a button to purchase real estate with crypto.
Yeah, it's so cool.
AI title companies, mortgages on chain. I, I I'm just a guy, I'm just a guy. But all I know is that the friction in real estate today is already solved. It's done.
Yeah.
The solution is done. It's tried. It's tested. Now it's just getting all these incumbents out of the way that are
Mm-hmm.
going to be losing money and letting the more efficient technology win. Natalia
Yeah.
and Propy have won. They've already won. So click of a button real estate transactions already
Just
exist.
hyper
That
liquid. That would be
Hyperlink,
crazy.
the project in crypto that allows users to monetize their data and benefit from their data is going to be a top 10 coin forever. Google's been stealing your money.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook's been stealing money. All these companies have been stealing the most valuable asset on the planet right now, which is data. Any crypto that takes user data and brings some money to the user's pockets is going to
Yeah.
make trillions in market cap. So there's some options out there, whether it's institutional data or peer-to-peer data, but
Mm-hmm.
there's some out.
What's going on with X and the coin they're launching? Would it be X coin? I don't know what it's called.
I mean, it would make sense. What I've typically found is that cryptos that are usually launched from like a central party, like an X, for example, or like a
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, they typically aren't the revolutionary because they're clearly like monopoly minded oriented. We want to make this for profit and for our platform to be the best.
Yeah, of course. It's not going to be
That's
used on other platforms. It
yeah.
would be just used on that platform.
HBAR for enterprise is That's still my second largest holding to this day. I've been watching them grow for years, and they're just so quick and scalable. They have an ETF out already. They had an ETF
Oh,
out before
wow. I didn't
XRP.
know that.
That's not
Wow.
that's kind of nuts.
Futures or spot?
But
Wow.
I think in terms of that data, I think I've talked to you about this coin before. DAG. I'm a huge believer. I'm a huge believer in DAG. I love that team. This is anyone that watches this is going to be a gem for them, because we're at 1.5 cents for DAG right now. I had been accumulating since like 8 cents, even to the
Wow.
way down. So I'm in the red right now, but I don't care because it's going to do well. They're building so much, and the team is fantastic. Like they're plugged up. Like it's a no nonsense project, and I think being US based as well, I think it's really gonna eat a lot of people's lunch. Truly.
Do you think we're going to see no capital gains on crypto in 2026?
You know, Trump talks a lot of shit. Uh, he's a New York City shit talker, so let's see if he can deliver.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit? Tell us a little bit more about DAG or Constellation DAG.
They're lobbying for a lot of crypto legislation in Washington right now. They have partnerships with the US military. They have like when it comes to data, it's and I think they're going to potentially monopolize like the most important and sensitive data in the United States. That's very possible.
Wow.
They're one of the few projects I believe that could do that.
Wow. Okay, so you heard it first from the Bearable Bull. Check out DAG. This is not financial advice, just obviously our
No,
opinions. But I've been hearing about this project for some time. I finally, I'm gonna admit it. I still don't have a bag of DAG, but I'm gonna do it.
come on, Bree. You're hurting my
I
feelings.
know.
I'm just
I gotta.
I'm just here to make you money, and you just reject it.
I know. It's okay. It dropped a little bit more, so now I'll buy it. Okay, so I loved you asked me this question when I was on your show, but what are your plans? Let's say XRP hits $100. What are your plans? How is that going to change your life? What are you going to do for the world with that money? You've obviously been in this game for a long time, so you're going to be an extremely rich man. What's your life look like?
I want to have a lot of flexibility. I'm very freedom minded. I don't like staying in one place for too long. I think you know that based on
Yeah, I'm the same.
I've garnered a reputation of people asking me like, "Hey, where are you?" before they ask me even how I am. So I like that. I want to have some, seeds planted overseas. Definitely. I don't necessarily trust where America's going, so I want that kind of
Yeah.
mobility good plan.
Where are you looking?
God, I love Dubai. Love Dubai.
Yeah.
They're just. Cause do you want to know what my mindset it is like? If there's one place they're not gonna bomb, it's like it'd probably be the city. No, it's probably Dubai. I mean, I'm a New Yorker.
Yeah.
They brought down the tallest buildings here like 20 years
Yeah.
ago. So I really think like that. And yeah, probably Dubai would be a healthy home base. I want
I've never been to Dubai
some seeds
before.
planted
Maybe
around the
this year
cities.
or next year I'll go and check it out. I've heard a lot of great things.
It's a very safe city. Very like the atmosphere is infectious, and the people are. It's like what America should have been. It's like 80% implants and immigrants, just high net worth, entrepreneurial minded, and no taxes.
Don't they
So
also have like a slave class though? So there is some
yeah,
dark stuff that
it's
happens
like
there that's just maybe not talked
yeah,
about. Nowhere's
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, no one's perfect, but how did America start? You could
Yeah.
argue, right? Neither here nor there. It's more like, you try to be the best you can be without, and point out atrocities and try and make things better. But yeah, that's where my mentality is. I want to balance that with spending as much time with my son as possible,
Mhm.
and also giving back to some, philanthropic projects I'm passionate about. I'm a big, you know, rehab the homeless type of dude. I'm a big like mental health guy, so I would like to, you know, kind of motivate some people that are down on their luck and inspire them to do better because you
I
could get
love
out
that.
of a hole. Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Those are sounds like good plans, and hopefully that will be happening sooner than later. Well, I guess we'll see. Crossing our fingers.
Hopefully. I think
Well,
I think it's this last month of the year into 2026. I think we're gonna be in for a treat, right? I think because these ETFs, my dear, they're going through the supply. They're going through the supply, and there's inevitably going to be a singular point where they say there's none left. We got to shoot it
yeah.
up. We got to get it to
So
exchanges.
I
So
That's actually, you brought up a really good topic. So a lot of people ask me, what we have all these ETFs now, like we had a spot ETF, like why isn't the price changing? Can you just explain this to the audience for the average person to be
yeah,
able to understand?
the ETFs going live isn't a singular day price go up now moment. It's ETFs are a tool to hold assets long term, right? And it's a way for you to get involved in XRP without necessarily you yourself holding the asset, right? But the asset needs to be held by people offering the ETFs, right? So as they're eating away at the supply because the demand of these institutional products is increasing. More XRP is slowly but surely getting bought up behind the scenes, and the price isn't getting affected publicly yet. You could also blame Bitcoin, you know, just having a low recently as part of that equation, but inevitably that price is going to shoot up because there's going to be less and less XRP available. And we only just had a couple ETFs live, right? Is BlackRock in the game?
Yeah,
No.
not
Is
yet.
Vanguard here? No.
No,
So we don't even
we
have
had
the
a,
largest asset managers in
we
gold.
had like Canary Capital. What is it? Bitwise. What other one? And then when Franklin Templeton, is that one live yet, or is that will be live
Yeah,
soon?
yeah. Franklin Templeton, Grayscales. These are like tadpoles in the ocean relative to BlackRock,
Mm-hmm.
right? But BlackRock's watching very closely, right? These are like trials for the big boys. And once the big boys are here, everything changes. Like
Yeah. So
everything's
just
changed
hold
already.
on.
Everything's changed already. They dragged out these ETFs going live
Oh yeah.
to the longest extent possible, and it's for a reason. They put XRP through 5 years of litigation for a reason. They're like holding back
Yeah.
Goliath in a cage with like armed guards and every obstacle you can find because it's that special. What we
Mm-hmm.
hold is that special.
And it's
And
always important to pay attention to the ones who the government tries to silence. Whether that's
yes.
people or projects. The same with
Like look at what
XRP.
they do to the XRP army. They call us every pejorative in the book. They call us
Yeah.
idiots. They call us dumb. They call us moon boys. They
You know,
try to dismiss what we say, but at the end of the day, we've been right about so much.
what's
And
actually interesting? I had on Instagram, I never had this before. I know on X you can be community noted. On Instagram, I
mhm,
actually had a community note on a video I made about XRP maybe about a month ago. And of course, right when you click on the video, it's the very first thing anyone could read. So they definitely target people that are posting about XRP.
they demonetized me for 9 months in 2021. They got rid of my TikTok when it was growing pretty quickly. They got yeah, but the revolution will be televised. XRP
Mm-hmm.
is unstoppable. It's undeniable, and there's like you're not gonna take away my mouthpiece. I'm gonna talk about it. I've been talking about it because it's just the truth. Like it's going to happen. This is a very special asset, and I can't stress how special it is. It's the only singular asset where I would tell you that like all these irrational levels and irrational price targets, like you have to like $100, $1,000, $10,000, all these like ludicrous theories or scenarios, like these, you have to leave area open for them to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You do, because because it's the only asset where things can happen in a way where it ends up being true, and it can happen faster than anything else on the planet. If XRP ended the bull run at $100 cycle, and if it happened by the end of the month, like I think Jay Claver says,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'd be like, oh, wow, yeah, we've been suppressed for 8 years. We didn't reach new all-time highs in the last bull market. We have the most fundamentals. We're the most fundamentally sound project in the world, period. Out of every crypto on the planet, I can stand on that. We are the best coin. We're the fastest one. We're the cheapest one in terms of, we have the most partnerships. We have the most government support. What else is there other than price go up? So if it goes up, it can go up to just like rational, like chart analyst price targets, like 8 to 10 to maybe $13. Like, and you should take some profits. But if we go to like supply shock territory, I wouldn't be surprised if it couldn't shoot up to $50 tomorrow. It could shoot up to $100 tomorrow, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. Oh, reverse carry trade. Japan needs liquidity now. Boom, XRP $20. That wouldn't be a surprise.
I mean, just with they already have the infrastructure. They've already are using XRP, so I don't see why it wouldn't be used for this reverse carry trade. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Derivatives imploding everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
We need something. We need something to stabilize global markets. Boom, XRP, BTC.
We didn't even touch on derivatives. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, there's just like so many pieces to the puzzle.
ISO 20022 changeover happened.
Yeah. And obviously XRP is compliant. Yeah.
Free. It's too much. It's too much. So
I know, it's hurting my brain.
Every crack in the dam is there. Every crack in the dam is there. So when it all happens, it can happen all at once, and all this treading water for years, it could just boom. And when I disappear, don't be surprised.
And as you reveal your face, and all of a sudden it's just like incognito again.
A lot of people ask me, "Hey, why'd you finally reveal your face?" Right? I'm just like, honestly, like one of the real reasons why I did that is because AI found me. So
okay.
And that AI found me. I made a mistake somewhere in my digital footprint where AI was able to find my name. So I give it up to the algorithm. But
you need
for 8 years, nobody needs able to find me. Yeah.
I saw on X the other day, there's a mask people are wearing now to where facial recognition does not work on them. It just distorts their face entirely. I think this was probably in the UK or something.
AI-proof clothing and stuff like that too, but we're not quite there yet.
Soon though. So any last words you want to say to the audience?
Going into a paradigm shift of epic proportions. If you're paying attention, you just need to be in the way of the transition. I think the times of that most progress in life is when 99% of people are distracted. And when there's massive change. Most progress I've ever made in my life was during COVID, when everyone was locked down. Crypto was taking off under everyone's noses, and no one was really paying attention because they were afraid to breathe air. So because people are afraid to breathe air, we were able to take advantage. Now, whatever is going on in the global age that they'll use to distract you or antagonize you or try to pitch you a gun to someone else, ignore it and pay attention and try and better yourself. Because AI is coming and it's inevitable. Crypto has arrived and it is inevitable. There's going to be a two-tier system. You're either going to make it out or you're going to be stuck and completely dependent and a complete slave to whatever it is that they want for you. You're not going to have optionality. You won't be able to move, and it's going to be depressing to see. It's going to be calamity for a lot of people. And for those that make it, I applaud you in advance. It's really like the last chance. It's right now. The last chance. You have to make your lifeboat, and then you have to burn the rest of your plan Bs. There's nothing else. There's no more time for waiting.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I agree. Well, those were incredibly wise words. I am so grateful that you came on my show. Like I said, I've listened to you. I've watched you for so many years. I'm really proud to be able to call you a friend now.
Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it. Likewise. Yeah.
I know people already follow you. You're very popular, but if you don't already subscribe and follow the Bearable Bull, you can find him on X and on YouTube. So definitely be sure to follow him if you aren't already.
Thank you so much, dude. That means a lot. Thank you so much. And everyone watching at home, stop sleeping. The time is now. Trust me.